Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss with you the advantages of design of steel structures and why we should study this subject. Whenever we look into construction, the two major materials are concrete and steel. And depending on these two materials, there are two major design subjects. One is design of reinforced concrete structures and another is the design of steel structures. So compared to design of reinforced concrete structures, the design of steel structures does not get so much of impact. One reason is the fact that the look of the steel structural connections are complicated compared to the look of the concrete structure connections. For if you just look into a beam column joint in a concrete structure, you will see that it looks very simple, isn't it? But steel structure, if you look into the joint, it is not that simple as that compared to that of a look of a joint in a concrete structure. In a steel structure joint, there are bolts, there are gusset plates and whatnot, isn't it? So that's why, since the look itself is complicated, people hesitate, and the architects hesitate more to draw any structure with steel. So now, if we look into the advantages, you see, design of steel is easier than concrete. If you look into the calculations, if you go on studying the subject, then you will find that the design of steel, the calculations are much easier than the calculations that we do for design of concrete structures. Then you see, understanding concrete is really not fully known. Concrete has lots of flexibility to add, and whatever way we want, we can do it. But in steel, we can add much more flexibility. Um, Again, if we want to suppose construct a structure which is not a regular structure, whose edges are not straight but curved, then in that case, what happens? The formworks that we will require will also be complicated, isn't it? For a complex shaped structure, the formworks will be again complicated. So that is also another tough task. So in that case, if we use a steel structure, then there is no question of using formworks only. So in that case, the design of steel structures is advantageous. We can get rid of the task of formworks. Now, um, like it is faster. Design of steel structures is faster. Uh, for suppose concrete, whenever we cast the concrete, it needs 28 days to harden. But steel is hard by default, so it does not require the 28 days. So that's why that is one example of how the construction can go fast if we construct it using steel, but not concrete. Then you see, suppose in a concrete joint there is some defects. We don't will be seeing some surface defects in the surface, suppose. Then we will not be able to directly know the reason, because what is going inside we don't know. But in a steel joint, whatever defects will be there, everything can be seen by the naked eye, because everything is out in the open. So that is one advantage. And since the defects can be seen easily in the steel structures, the repairs can also be done easily. Um, then this topic, in this point of faster construction, we have already discussed. You see, concrete takes 28 days, steel does not take 28 days to get hardened. That is one factor which is which will that is one factor, okay, for faster construction. Then again, for formworks also, for constructing the formwork is a time consuming work, okay. So in case of steel, there is no question of formwork, so in that case the time is saved, okay. And whenever we are constructing a steel structure, then if we want to want the sections for beam or column and whatnot, we can get lots of options. Whenever we go to procure the sections, we will get lots of options will be available to us, like whether we need a T section, I section, channel section, angle section. We'll get so many options available, and each section will be available for different dimensions. So in that case, it is advantageous for us, because of the numerous options that are available to us. So these are the main advantages of design of steel structures. So with this, I would like to stop, and thank you very much for giving your time and listening.